So ladies and gentlemen, this is Panda. Kind of struggling with my mental health right now. I'm just being honest with you. But Jonathan, thank you for the $10 donations. I am doing my laundry right now with that donation. So I appreciate it from yesterday. So I'm going through a lot of mental health crisis at this time. And the reason why I am is because yesterday evening or afternoon, you know, people approached me and knew who I was. Well, they said that they saw me from somewhere before, and then they realized who I was. And I don't really want to talk about it because it's like a whole racist discrimination. Like, this is what I say: people in the city are not loved. People don't have an open heart. People always want to be entitled to tell other people what to do. So what did I tell everyone? So basically yesterday I was disrespected, not once, but 3 times. In 3 different instances where I'm sitting in the park last night and I see the same guy all the time. And he decided to say something by saying, you know what, you need to go find yourself a hobby. I said, I do have a hobby. I'm not a drug addict. I'm not a criminal. I do not have an arrest history. I don't have felonies, so what is your point? And he said it with such finesse with grace, if you understand what I mean. It's like the guy was like pissed off to be seeing me all the time. Like, and that's not your problem. This is called Earth. We're another human. If you see the same human being over and over again, will you think they either live or would they hang out? Come on, friend. It's a public park. Discrimination in this city is so terrible. It's let's put it that this way. Some New York natives even said it themselves that New York has a tendency not to care. So I'm not going to care. As long as I'm here in New York City, I'm not going to care. If New York City residents don't care, then I'm not going to care. Because someone said last night that I should call mental health services. Let me tell you about mental health services here in New York City. They don't care for you either. Because if they did, why you have all these mental health problems in the city? Where is the mental health crisis programs in this city? Because there is none. There is none. This is why people, when you literally watch a New York video on YouTube about homelessness, keep in mind, New York City has the worst mental health crisis programs in the nation, next to California. So keep that in mind. Because if there were mental health programs in the city, I'm pretty sure half of the homeless here, there are 100,000 plus, would have got services by now. There are people out here that live in these homes that have mental health services, but they know that the services are not provided to you as prompt as it should be. There's no professional behind it. You know who's behind the phone? Someone like you that doesn't have a PhD that understands psychology education, social justice, someone that has a career in social services. These are people who are just taking up jobs to comfort people. Like, I know this because I did it once myself. They teach you how to interact with someone over the phone. Calm them down. Let them know. How do I know what they're going through? I need to know and assess what they're going through. This is why I became, and guys, this is why I stopped my previous jobs, working for consulates and other agencies, to work as a social worker, to understand it much better in the real world. But no. Yesterday was kind of fucked up. How you New Yorkers think you're entitled to like try to call cops. Cops never showed up yesterday, by the way. Keep that in mind. So if you guys want to know why I was so delirious and pissed off and struggling with my mental health, last night this guy literally said, I'm sick of seeing the park, you go, guys. So he was accusing me of drinking and leaving trash in the park, talking about this is his park. But here's the thing, I'm not the one drinking. It's a bunch of group of guys that come to the park all the time. They blast music, they do whatever they want. It's the freedom of, first and foremost, sir, and anyone else that wants to contest this argument, it's a freedom choice, a right to go to a public park and enjoy yourself. Yes, you're not supposed to be smoking and drinking in the park, but everyone else in the neighborhood does it. The neighbors do it. Why can't these these grown-ass men that work for a moving company down the street from the park, so what they do is they go get drunk, they get high before they go to work, and then when they get after work, you can see them at night, they come back to the park and they drink and smoke again. But he's accusing me of doing all that trash and leaving it in the trash. He's sick of it and blah, blah, blah. I was like, me too. He goes, don't pretend like you are innocent. But I am. And then he said what I was not expecting him to say. Because he didn't curse, he didn't swear, he didn't use profanity. He said, this is why you niggers are always down and out. He literally said the N-word. He said, that's why you niggers are always down and out. Wow. And that's when I drew my line. So yeah, when I stood up and said, now I'm going to fuck you up, and he wanted to call the cops, I said, call them, because that was unnecessary. We are sitting in the park. I'm sitting in the park, not in my business, by myself. Literally by myself. Literally on my phone, checking email. And this guy comes up to me and says all these mean things in this very aggressive way and matter, and then calls me the N-word. This is why I wasn't expecting it, because the way he was conversating with me was that he was angry, but he wasn't using profanity. So with that said, everyone, and then like, to people in reality, people in the world do not understand mental health as they think they do. So stop pretending you do. And here's another thing. Most of you New Yorkers are a bunch of hypocrites. You all have mental health crisis problems. You're struggling with the problems in the city. That is causing you to have a mental health crisis. People are afraid to get in the subway. That's a mental health crisis. People are afraid to ride the subway. That's a mental health crisis. People are afraid to ride the city bus now because people are shooting and stabbing on city buses now. That's a mental health crisis. You know what's a mental health crisis? When people are starving, people are worried, people are trying to think about how they're going to feed their children tomorrow. That's a mental health crisis. So stop pretending that you guys don't have any psyche problems with yourselves in this city. Because you do. Everyone has it. Stop pretending you don't have it. If you lost someone in your past or in your future, you're going to come across it. You're going to feel the turmoil of loss. You're going to feel angry. You're going to feel like it's not fair. She should have been living, or he should have been living. Look what happened on Friday. Boy gets mad and shoots an innocent 15-year-old boy in the chest and dies on the A train. Wow. That's a mental health crisis. People are going through a mental health crisis, and you're pretending that everything is supposed to be sugarcoating. No, it's not the same man. It's the man with a dog. This guy comes through the park every fucking day with his dog, and he's like walking where technically those tables are used to be chess tables. So the chess tables, he walks by slowly and gives you people weird looks, right? But last night I was by myself. Not in my own business. And here he comes. You need to go find your hobby. I do have a hobby. And that's the thing. But the other person said, I know who you are. You that panda guy. You like talking shit about us New Yorkers. And I said, ma'am, where were you born? She said, Nebraska. I said, how long you been living here? She said, 6 years. I said, you're not a New Yorker. I called her out on her shit. You're not a New Yorker. You weren't raised here. You weren't born here. Have you ever been to the Bronx? I asked her one question. Have you been to the Bronx? She wouldn't answer. Have you ever been to Hoboken, New Jersey? That's all. Even New Jersey, Hoboken, Milwaukee, all that is still part of New York because people come. So I asked her, have you ever lived anywhere else in New York? She wouldn't answer. I said, then don't fucking question me about what I do on my channel, on my YouTube channel. She says, oh, I've been watching you carefully. You need to go find a fast food job, and then walk away. I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, fast food locations do not pay very well, and they're not very safe. People cause problems in those places. And mind you, I'm a vegan, so pescatarian. So if I'm going to work at a fast food place, I'd rather work at a salad joint where I represent what I eat. I'm not a hypocrite. But with that said, everyone, just like last night, people were just being stupid. You know, it's Saturday night, people are drunk and being stupid. But these people weren't drunk. These are people that live in this neighborhood that are sick. And you know what it is, too? It's also the kids that come to the park Monday to Friday during the morning hours, smoking weed in the bathroom, causing problems in the park, trying to fight a grown-ass man in the park. Then you jump the man because he was giving the kid the business. That kid was getting his ass whooped. And so you decided to jump. And you got this fat chick, this fat girl. Your asses need to be in class, first and foremost. That's the mental health crisis in New York City. That's what I'm talking about. The hypocrite in this city. Your own children have mental health. Look what they are doing. They are smoking weed to balance a happy life. No, it is not trying to balance a happy life. They're trying to pretend to be a happy life. Because honestly, if they're smoking weed, they honestly are having difficulties at home. That's not a happy life. If your child is smoking weed, doing drugs, then that's not a happy life. That's a mental health crisis. Stop pretending, New Yorkers, that you are absolutely on the top of the food chain. Like, oh, this is New York, we the best, we the best. Yeah, you might be the best for you native New Yorkers that were born and raised here. I'm not talking about you. And maybe I am talking about some of you that are causing some of these problems. But you're supposed to be better. And I talked to some guys yesterday, I always talk to in the park. They even said it, like, it doesn't make sense why now New York City is asking the government help for the immigrants when you have people like yourself, Panda. Like, but that's the thing. I don't want to fall under the government's ruling or power or control. They want you to beg for assistance. They want you to get on your knees for that assistance, even though that assistance should have been granted to you because you are a taxpayer. Why is your tax dollars going to someone that's never worked a day in hard in their life and never actually lived here to actually endure what is really going on in this country? So you tax. So if I wanted to do something to harm New York, I would have done it by now. I would have done it a year ago. But honestly, New Yorkers, you just draw me, a person that used to come to New York from time to time. You just draw me more and more away from this city. The more you guys, and the more people that are coming here and pretend this is their city and you're from this and that. I'm not judging you, but I'm judging you based on your character at the moment. I'm judging you based on how your behavior changed when you moved here. You're not native New Yorkers. Stop pretending. Just say, hey, I moved here 6 years ago. I love New York. So do me a favor. Listen, I love this park. And I've been respecting this park ever since I moved here. can you do me a favor and clean behind yourself? Don't tell someone to leave the park. Because guess what? I pay taxes too. I paid for every single dime in that square space of that park. So don't give me that bullshit, ladies and gentlemen. I'm literally going to a whole bunch of mental health crisis. First and foremost, I'm not going to repeat myself. I'm not trying to make you feel sorry for me either. Don't feel sorry for me. I'm just being honest and very transparent. I lost someone. It still hurts. And then I'm going through this whole cycle of, I'm not sure if I'm calling it the correct term, but I'm going to call it what did I say last night? Humanity's worst fear. You are humanity's worst fear. You, the person. Because you cause more trouble, more harm, more chaos, more problems than good. This goes for government, president, politician, city official, doesn't matter. You guys cause more problems than good. This is why I always thought about suicide. Because it makes no sense. Why should I continue to give away my hard-earned money, or you giving away your hard-earned money, when the city, the people, the government, the structure, the economic system is falling apart? It doesn't care for those that make under, I don't know, a certain amount of value or wage a year. And you guys sit here pretending like you guys are obsolete and you're better. Not better. Some of you guys are pretending to be rich. You're not rich. Let me explain it. If you're still paying rent, you're not rich. If you're still leasing, you're not rich. You're rich when you own your own brownstone building and you live in that bitch. Alright? You're rich when you own your cars without paying any other payments for it. You're rich. You're rich when you can go anywhere in the world you want. You're not rich because you think you got a $200 pair of sneakers, a $1,000 coat, but you're living in an 8x12 apartment in New York City, and you're calling yourself rich. No, you're living above the poverty level. Let's be real about that, friends. I'm the journalist. I'm the documentarian. I'm the travel consultant. I know best. And let me tell you, you're not rich. And this is why I was telling that guy, like, you're not rich. Stop pretending to have power. You don't have power over another human being. This is why I told him, call the police and let's see what happens. And the police never showed up. I waited there for a whole hour. Oh, they're not going to show up. You know why they're not going to show up? It's not important. No one got hurt. No weapons was presented. No nothing. It's harassment. It is pure harassment from not native New Yorkers. It's pure harassment from people that live in this city. And this is why I say, in keyword, people that live in this city, pretending that they're all about New York, and you're not all about New York, friends. If you're all about New York, you stand with New York. You don't go against it. You don't make up, I don't know, the barriers to say, I don't want these minorities in my neighborhood. And this has been going on lately too. This is why I'm deciding to leave this neighborhood for good. No more Long Island City, friends. Like, I enjoy it. It's peaceful, it's quiet, but like the people around here are just sometimes not very kind. And I say this with emphasis because you guys know that I am not near racist. But you have fellow Chinese residents, and I'm calling Chinese because you are Chinese, because there was a discrepancy yesterday, right on this block over here, by the new Japanese market. And you guys know that my Chinese is not good, but I could understand. And what I heard was totally fucking disrespectful, not just towards Americans, but towards this country. So this man was like, "Oh, the new Japanese store, like cool, right?" He goes to the window, and then he backs up and bumps into this Chinese couple, and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was just looking at it." And they said this: "Why do white people in this country still allow black people to live?" I was like, "What?" And I might be mishearing the dialect, but I heard white people, black people living. I am not stupid. So for you Chinese residents that live in Long Island City, be careful. I don't speak lots of Chinese, but I speak some, and I can understand some. And what I heard yesterday, listen, that man bumped into you by accident. For you to say, why do white people still allow black people to live in this country? It's such a racist thing to say. Are you China communist? Are you communist China? Are you literally just going to... You live here and you're saying things like that when the man was just being curious about the Japanese market? I should have recorded, but I'm pretty sure they have it on their surveillance camera. And the guy was like, wow, what did they say? And I was like, not very nice things, man. I called it out as it is. And the couple looked back as they walk, and I walk in right behind them, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, shaking my head, like a disappointment, like shaking my head. I didn't say a word. Walk right by them, like, that's so messed up. And I'm pretty sure they're like, did he understood, or did he knew what we said? Yeah, I knew exactly what you said. And that triggered me. Listen, friends, I have a whole bunch of first and foremost, most of my friends are Asian. Let's be honest. Most of my friends are Asian. To hear a fellow Chinese resident living in a very rich upscale neighborhood now in Long Island City call out a black man for bumping into them. Listen, if I go to the window and I bend down to look inside the window and do this, and I accidentally back up and hit you, obviously that was a mistake. But no, I'm just calling it like it is. Oh yeah, you're gonna see some of that. You're gonna see some footage of people being disrespectful in my next vlog whenever I push it up, whenever I feel like it. But then again, we cannot afford to pay for the app. Yeah, I have to pay for these things, and people pretend like I don't have a habit. So with that said, everyone, I'm just showing why it triggered me yesterday. People doing very hateful things, and I'm worrying and thinking about, am I next? And I was next. But here's the thing, am I next to be called, am I next to be, I don't know, a victim of police brutality because someone calls the cops and make a false report and say, oh, he has a gun, right? That does happen. That does happen. So let me ask that question. Let me get closer because I'm using the Wi-Fi here at the laundromat. So let me ask you guys all a question. Is it fair for anyone to judge me or you without even asking you questions first? Is it fair for anyone to sit here and just come up to you and tell you you need to go out, you need to leave the park because you're sick of trash? First and foremost, there's trash everywhere. There's trash everywhere. This is why, like, New York is so toxic, man. Like, San Francisco got toxic. New York is toxic. Boston was probably the most relaxing city, even though they have their homeless crisis and stuff. It's probably the most relaxing city I've been to at the East Coast. Yeah, they got crime up there, but when I was up there, nothing bad happened. That's what I'm trying to tell you. When I was up there, nothing bad happened. Nothing. Not a single thing went off a hitch. Every morning I woke up in Boston, it was like a good day. We went outside, we walked around, we went to the park, we did the log, we was around, we did see what's going on. We went to Coliseum, we went there, we went to the stadium. Nothing happened. We come to New York, all this chaos and bullshit. All this racism, this hatred towards homeless people, mostly. Half the city despise homeless people. They don't care if you were an innocent person that financially went bankrupt. You homeless, they're going to put you in the same category. That same category is hate. Because the people that do not like homeless, that's, oh, you're homeless. Oh, okay, I'm going to make my own conclusion that you might be fucking up in your life and this. Yeah, people do that. Not even asking questions and automatically dislike you. So half the city dislikes homeless people. How do you think that makes homeless people feel? Uncomfortable, unworthy, insecure, not sure if you want to be around people anymore, because people, this is why other homeless people stay away from people. Why homeless people don't ever seek out services. As I said earlier, because you want to make the stereotype. You want to make an assumption. Drugs is always part of the problem with homeless people. You guys really think that, do you? You think alcohol and drugs is the main reason why 99.9% of homeless people are homeless? Some of you really believe that? Wow. It goes to show you that you guys don't pay attention to the world. It goes to show you that you guys don't pay attention to content. It goes to show you that you guys don't pay attention to your own community. So with that said, everyone, yeah, I'm going through a mental health crisis. I'm struggling. I'm not going to call no fucking crisis hotline. It's full of shit. New York City's crisis hotline is full of shit. You want to go inside a shelter. Oh, you offer me to go inside a shelter when more of my problems will occur. Maybe my mental health might just get even worse by being in such an environment in that state. Why would you even offer that? This is why I'm telling you, folks, that mental health services in New York City sucks. It sucks. It sucks. There's no one doing it really good. No one's doing it professionally. Everyone has jobs because of a paycheck. People are getting hired to be call services. Oh, by the way, let me go get my laundry. You know what? I'm not even going to talk about it anymore. I'm done. I just wanted to give you guys my experience of like what happened yesterday, day before yesterday, what happened with people on the streets I see. You know, I'm calling it like it is. This is not New York City. This is basically everyone out for themselves. Yeah. So with that said, everyone, see ya.